Well, hello, this is Terry Dale here coming to you from the Diabetes and Weight Loss Lifestyle Coaching Academy with another very special guest, Mel. Hi,
Hi,
how are you today?
I'm doing really great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm really excited to talk to you because, you are one of the people inside the academy, one of the wonderful clients inside the academy that has just kind of a unique story because when people want to join the academy, sometimes they think that it's all just diabetes. It's all people that have diabetes or type 2 or pre. And I want you to share your story a little bit about when you decided to work on your health. What was the reason why you wanted to start the journey of work on your health? What was your situation?
That's a great question. So, my situation started a little over a year ago. I was actually having some reflux issues and wound up in an emergency room and had a lot of challenges with that. It took a while to really understand what was happening, but due to just issues with my stomach lining, a hiatal hernia, and being overweight, it was really exacerbating the situation. And so I knew a year and a half ago that I really wanted to take an opportunity to take my health back and be here for the long term. We always talk about the whys within the academy, and my why is to have a presence of a healthy body to go along with my healthy, sharp mind that will last me a lifetime for my children, for my husband, for maybe grandchildren someday. And so that really has been my why, and that has been my focus over the last year. And so the academy, I came to the academy, it really was after I had done a lot of this journey on my own. Those gals in the academy who know me know that I am a trust but verify, and I take a very scientific approach to a lot of the work that I do. And I had and I had gotten to the point where I couldn't go it on my own anymore, and I needed some additional understanding and some additional education and really clarity through the noise of all of the stuff that is out there on the internet, because I'll tell you what, you can find all sorts of crazy things and just go down a rabbit hole. So I wanted to find somebody that I could work with and a group of people that I could work with, that it would be real information presented in a clear way that was supportive and engaging. And so that's why I came to the academy.
Yeah, you are absolutely one of the most intelligent women I have ever met. You're very bright. So it's actually very fun having you inside the academy because you kind of sometimes give us your scientific expertise, which I love. And so when you first decided to work with us, you shared with me that you were having some problems, like you said, you had heartburn, but you also were having some problems losing some weight. You'd be a
Mhm.
little frustrated with that. And
Mhm.
I remember sharing with you that I thought, well, maybe, you have metabolic syndrome or you are pre-diabetic. And at that time we didn't know because, one of the things that I do in the academy is I have your physician run a lot of blood work so that we know what the imbalances are in the body, right? So talk a little bit about the revealing of when you did your blood labs, reveal to us or tell us what that revealed and how that made you feel and kind of the process there.
It was a high and a low. I was actually astounded by the fact that my blood work came back as poorly as it did. I had had blood work done a year previous to that. I was much heavier at that point, and my A1C numbers, there was nothing that indicated prediabetes. My triglycerides, all of those things, everything was in with normal range and was looking really good. And so I expected to see even a further reduction of all of that. And it was in fact the opposite. So I went in and found that I was right on that cusp of being what the physician said was pre-diabetic. And I was flattened by that. I was so disappointed because I had worked so hard to lose 20 pounds, knowing I still had more to lose, and thought, why had I just done all of that work? But didn't really have a good understanding of what insulin resistance was, what being pre-diabetic meant, what that was from an impact perspective. And so that was the high. So the low was, ugh, those were my numbers. I was so disappointed. But the high was, again, within the academy of people being just so supportive of you, Terry, being really supportive and saying, well, now we know, and this is the starting point, and we can fix it and repair it from here, taking these steps and understanding that work that would have to go into it.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that and explaining that so well and articulating that so well, because that's what I find is so many people, if they do this on their own, they get that blood work, it derails them, and then they're like, what do I do? And they go to their physician and right away they want to be put on medications. And, I remember the specific conversation I had with you. I do remember you being very down about it. And I just said, hey girl, that's fact. You're a data girl, you're a science girl. Now we have the facts. There
Yep.
we go. Now we can do something about it. The good news is now we know, and it's going to be actually very simple to fix. And so, that kind of switched, right? That kind of that mental shift you had caused you to just, let's do this, right? And share how you feel now. Like, how is it going?
It's a slow journey. And I think that that's another thing that's really important to highlight about the Academy is that every one of us, and it's all ladies in this particular group, we're all going through the journey at different times and at different places. And so some of us are where I'm at, where we are pre-diabetic, or maybe not even pre-diabetic, maybe on the cusp of that. And then some folks are really dealing with some hardcore diabetes with really high blood sugar. And I think that understanding that the journey really is in your own time. And like you always say, Terry, you didn't get to this point overnight, so you're not going to reverse this overnight. And leaning into that patience and understanding that it is a journey. And when you fail forward, you learn from that. And that has been what's been great for me, because what I understand so much better now is how insulin works in the body, how the food that you eat and when you eat your food, and really how you eat your food is very impactful for how your body can actually use the blood sugar, the glucose that you're creating, and reduce your overall A1C numbers, reduce your blood sugar and keep that low. How all sorts of different things from intermittent fasting to making sure that you have the right vitamins and making sure that you have the right nutrients, because it is really about having balanced nutrients. It's not crash dieting. This isn't a quick fix. And so I feel so much better. My weight loss has been slow, but I also am okay with that because I understand that my health is really improving. And so to be healthful, I will take the repair first and then focus on the weight loss. And I'm totally fine with that. And so while my scale hasn't moved at all, my measurements have gone down. I went from a size 14 to a size 12, and I keep going down from there. So for me, that's a win, right? It's not the number on the scale. And I'm really proud of just how I feel being supported by this group.
Bravo. Can I hire you to be my publicist, please?
Sure.
You are amazing. Yeah. Wow. You said everything like verbatim of what I teach, how I feel. Awesome. Good job. Awesome. Amazing. And right. And it's true, like I always say, and you said it brilliantly, but I say this all the time, we have to heal the body before we can lose the weight.
You have to heal the mind too. And I think
how much do we work on the mindset in the Academy?
the mindset is everything. If you have,
Right.
we used to use a term many years ago, stinky thinking. I haven't heard it come up recently, but if you have that, if your mindset isn't where you want to make a fix and that you want it to be long-term, it isn't going to be successful. And sometimes healing the mind is the hardest thing to do, but it's going to give you a lifetime of health.
Yeah, I'd say, we work on the mindset at least 50% of everything that we do is mindset, because we don't have that right mentality and we don't have the tools that I teach to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to stay or learn or change your hormones or change your cravings or heal your body, because you have to work on that. So yeah, you said it absolutely perfectly. And if you don't have the right tools, it's more of a challenge. So do you feel like some of the tools that, we're able to use have helped you with that process? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, they seem really silly little hacks, but we have, we have the jar. So if anyone has learned anything about the jar, and so I have these little rocks, and every time that I recognize, it's not that I've resisted and used willpower to not do a craving or take part in a craving, but it's, hey, I recognized it and I chose something different. I put a rock in the jar, and then that starts to add up, and you start to see there's really real progress. And again, the progress might not always be on the scale. The progress might be with your mind, and with your heart, and loving yourself and being gentle with yourself. And I think as women, we struggle with that so much because we are pulled in 100 different directions, and we see a million different images of what perfection looks like. And perfection is accepting where you are and living life on your life's terms. And so that has been a great hack. And then also just understanding for everything from intermittent fasting to the 12 foods to avoid, all of those skills just keep building on each other for long-term blocks of success.
yeah. And the last question, you are very busy, entrepreneur, you hard worker, you're a mom, you're a wife, and you're very busy. So how have you been able to do all the work that's been, assigned, or do you feel like has been manageable for you?
It has been manageable. And again, I think because you can go through it at your own pace. So I might be a couple weeks behind another sister in the academy. Someone else might be a couple weeks behind me, but we're all, because it is you, again, those building blocks of success. You find the time to get the education that you need, and then take what you need and apply that for your next day. And so for me, it is really just saying, I am going to create time for myself every day, whether that is time to exercise, time to reflect, or time to learn, and know that maybe on a day I can't do all three of those things, but just keep making progress forward. And you absolutely, if you want it bad enough, you will find time.
Yes, absolutely, 100% true. You are spot on. Thank you so much for all of your amazing words. And if you could say one thing to invite some of these other sisters who we know need this so bad, what would you say to them?
Take the risk. I know that was 3 words, but take the risk. You have nothing to lose and you have everything to gain.
Awesome. Girl, I love you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. And
you're welcome.
yeah, and we will, again, we're going to keep plugging away and keep growing as sisters inside the academy. We have a lot of work to do, and it's always very fun, hard, but fun. But we have a good time in there. So I'll see you in a few hours.
All right. Sounds
Thanks,
great.
Belle. Bye-bye.
Bye.